If your body contains 7 ancient magnetic field codes that can unlock a power lost for thousands of years, would you dare to face it? A forgotten secret buried deep in your aura is quietly waiting to be awakened. Imagine a glowing ancient figure emerges in the picture. 7 colored lights swirl around him, and his eyes are as deep as stars. That was a scene in my childhood dream. He guided me to touch my chest, and a warm current surged like a tide. Is this the aura fault whispering to you? I will never forget that night. I was curled up under a tattered blanket when I was young. The cold wind was howling outside the window, and the dream came quietly. A white-haired old man stood in front of me, his robe fluttering in the wind, and his eyes seemed to penetrate the soul. Child, his voice was like a breeze, feel your body. He guided me to press my hands to my heart, and in an instant, a warm current surged from my fingertips, as if igniting a sleeping flame. My heartbeat accelerated, and a low echo came to my ears, as if the whole universe was responding. At that moment, tears slipped down unconsciously, with an indescribable expectation and fear. After waking up, I stared at the ceiling, and the deep eyes lingered in my mind. Many years later, I realized that it was not an ordinary dream. It was the first touch of the 7 magnetic field codes, an ancient secret hidden in the human body which was recorded in ancient documents. Have you ever had a similar feeling? Maybe when you are meditating late at night, there is an inexplicable vibration under your feet. Maybe when you are walking in the forest, you hear a whisper in your ear. Perhaps the same power is buried in your body, waiting to be awakened. These aura faults are said to connect our past, present, and future, and contain a kind of energy that can change life. The roots of the story are buried deep in the dust of time. In the dark depths of the Egyptian pyramids, archaeologists found a torn parchment. The paper surface is yellowed, the edges are worn brittle by time, but the handwriting is still clear. It was a record of 7 energy faults, a mysterious node hidden in the human aura, which is surprisingly consistent with modern scientific research on the human magnetic field. When I read it for the first time, my heart almost stopped, as if I could feel the heartbeat of the writer at that time. It was a priest who lowered his head to write in the flickering candlelight, and tears dripped onto the paper just to pass this secret to future generations. I imagined his tired but determined eyes, and at that moment, my eyes were blurred by tears. Going back further, the legend of Atlantis came like a wave. According to legend, it was a glorious city floating on the blue sea, and its priests could cure diseases through these magnetic fields. A story that I couldn't let go for a long time. A young priest, with tears on his cheeks, saved a critically ill child with a blue stream of light. The child opened his eyes and said, "Thank you," weakly, and the roar of the tsunami was close to his ears. The priest chose to stay and use his last strength to seal these secrets, just to let future generations rediscover them. I can imagine him standing in front of the ruins with the reluctance and determination in his eyes. The sacrifice for the future of mankind shook my soul and made me cry. In the Middle Ages, this wisdom was passed down secretly. A Crusader knight found a manuscript full of mysterious symbols in the ruins of the desert. He touched the paper with trembling fingers and suddenly felt a tremor in his body, and tears flowed uncontrollably. The manuscript described the aura fault, which is like the 7 wheels, chakra, in Eastern wisdom, which is the core node of human energy. The knight changed his life from then on, lived in seclusion in the mountains, and guarded this secret. It is said that in his later years, he often sat on the top of the mountain, gazing at the stars, tears falling, as if he was talking to ancient souls. His descendants told me that he once dreamed of a priest in light and shadow whispering, "Guard the inheritance." In India, the ancient Vedic texts also mention these magnetic field nodes, called nadis, which are considered to be the energy veins of the earth. A yogi shared her experience. She saw spots of light rising from the soles of her feet during meditation. Tears blurred her vision. She said, "That was the guidance of the ancestors." In the murals of Mayan civilization, priests raised their hands to the sky, surrounded by patterns similar to the aura. A researcher told me that those patterns may record the ritual of magnetic field activation. Modern science has also confirmed these records. Researchers have detected abnormalities in the human magnetic field with high-precision instruments, especially in 7 key parts, which are surprisingly consistent with the descriptions in ancient documents. I can't help but think of the day when my mother taught me to meditate when I was a child. She asked me to close my eyes and feel my breath. That was the first time I felt the vibration in my chest, like an electric current, and tears slid down my cheeks. At that moment, I knew that I had touched something deeper, a power that connects the past and the future. Are these aura faults the key to human potential? These 7 magnetic field codes are like 7 locks of the human body, each leading to a deeper self. Let me take you into their world and let you feel their power with real stories. The first magnetic field, the root chakra, is located at the bottom of your feet, symbolizing security and foundation. I know a retired soldier who was tortured by nightmares after the war, and his hands were always shaking. Once, he was meditating by the river, and suddenly a warmth rose from the bottom of his feet, like the earth hugging him. At that moment, his tears fell on the water, and the nightmare never came back. He told me, "I finally feel safe, like returning to my mother's arms." Another farmer also shared a similar experience. The warmth in the soles of his feet made him regain hope after losing his home. He said, "It feels like the earth is telling me that I still have a home." The second magnetic field, the sacral chakra, is in your lower abdomen and controls creativity. An artist in Paris once dreamed that a beam of blue light was rotating in her abdomen. After waking up, she picked up a paintbrush and created a painting in which the characters seemed to be whispering. On the day of the exhibition, the audience burst into tears as if their souls were touched. She said, "That beam of light ignited my inspiration." Another musician who felt a vibration in his lower abdomen during meditation later composed a song that made the audience cry. He told me, "That music came from the depths of my soul." The third magnetic field, the solar chakra, is in your stomach and represents strength. A nurse felt helpless in a busy ward until she meditated and a warm current rose from her abdomen. She placed her hand on the forehead of a critically ill patient, and a miracle happened. The patient opened his eyes. The nurse burst into tears and said, "I feel so powerful, like a guardian." Another single mother also found courage in financial difficulties by activating this magnetic field. With a smile in her tears, she said, "I finally believe that I can hold on." The fourth magnetic field, the heart chakra, is in your chest and controls love. A couple separated by the ocean decided to meditate at the same time. They felt a warmth in their chests, as if their souls had crossed the distance and embraced each other in a sea of light. They later told me that when the tears flowed, they knew that their hearts had never been separated. There was also an elderly widow who felt the beating of the heart chakra during meditation and dreamed of his deceased wife. When he woke up, his pillow was soaked with tears. He said, "She told me that she was always by my side." The fifth magnetic field, the throat chakra, is in your throat and symbolizes truth. A singer lost her voice after losing her beloved until she felt a slight tremor in her throat during meditation. She opened her mouth again, and her singing flowed like a spring, and the audience burst into tears. She said, "I found my voice and myself again." Another writer also wrote a novel about self-salvation in the vibration of the throat chakra, which moved countless readers. He said, "That was my heart speaking. The sixth magnetic field, the third eye, is in your forehead and controls intuition. A blind man told me that he dreamed of a light blooming on his forehead, and when he woke up, he felt seeing that he had never felt before. Although his eyes still couldn't see, he could sense everything around him. His tears were joy and rebirth." Another scientist meditated in the lab, and after his third eye opened, he suddenly had an inspiration about magnetic fields. After the paper was published, it shocked the industry. He said, "That is the miracle of intuition." The seventh magnetic field, the crown chakra, is on top of your head and connects to the universe. A monk in the Himalayas felt a tingling pain on the top of his head while meditating, and then his whole body seemed to rise into the air. He told me that he saw the stars, and when tears fell, he felt that he was integrated with the universe. Another yogi dreamed of flying over mountains and rivers when the crown chakra was activated. When she woke up, her tears were filled with tranquility. She said, "It was a conversation with the universe. These magnetic fields do not exist in isolation. They interact with each other. A storm destroyed a village, and a family sat together to meditate. Their energy gathered and guided them to find a safe haven. After the disaster, their tears were intertwined with laughter, and they were grateful for each other's connection." Another time, a teacher led students in meditation, and the classroom was filled with light. The students burst into tears and felt the spiritual connection with each other. He said, "That was the moment of collective awakening. Want to activate these magnetic fields? It's simple. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, gently place your hands on each part, and breathe deeply." The first time I tried it, I stood by the sea, placed my hands on my heart, and suddenly heard a whisper. It was like my ancestors were speaking. Tears fell, and I felt a warm current running through my body, joy and sadness intertwined. That was the awakening of life. Later, I tried it again in the moonlight, and the crown chakra on the top of my head seemed to open a door, starlight sprinkled all over my body, and tears fell like rain. Once, I meditated in the forest, and the vibration of the root chakra made me feel the pulse of the earth, and my tears were filled with awe of nature. But this road is not always smooth. I encountered obstacles. My chest seemed to be blocked, and anxiety surged like a tide. I began to doubt myself and whether these magnetic fields were real. Those nights I tossed and turned, my tears soaked the pillow, and I felt powerless. I tried to confide in a friend, and she told me that she was also lost until she found her direction during a meditation by the sea. I decided to follow suit, sitting by the sea on a stormy night, letting the wind and waves beat. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Suddenly, a wave of energy broke through the blockage and washed my soul like the sea. I felt light, as if floating in the starry sky, and tears fell like rain. They were cleansing tears. This awakening is not just for me. My friend also faced blockages. She told me that she almost gave up during that period until one morning she was meditating in the garden and felt a warm current rising from the soles of her feet. Tears blurred her vision. She said, "That was the moment of my rebirth." There was also a psychological counselor who encountered magnetic field blockage when helping a client. But through persistence, he felt the energy flow, and the client also found peace. He told me that was a double healing. A mother activated the heart chakra when her child was sick, and she prayed in tears. In the end, the child recovered. She said, That was the power of love. Will you encounter your own obstacles? Don't be afraid, face it bravely, and then share your story in the comment section. I want to hear your experience. These 7 magnetic field codes are our heritage and a gift from our ancestors. In 2025, this energy is awakening and calling us to a higher consciousness. Try it now. Close your eyes, place your hands on your heart, take a deep breath, and feel the vibration. Every time I do this, I can feel the warmth, as if my ancestors are whispering. Once, when I was meditating on a mountaintop, my crown chakra opened and I dreamed that I was standing on the ruins of Atlantis. Tears fell, and it was a conversation with the souls of the past. Another time, when I was meditating in the rain, my third eye opened, and I dreamed of a bright future. Tears brought hope. Did you feel anything? Is it the tingling of your fingers, or the warmth of your heart? Maybe the slight tremor of your forehead? Maybe the breeze above your head? Share your magnetic field experience in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will unlock more spiritual secrets together. My tears blurred my vision as I wrote this. Thank you for accompanying me on this journey. The picture gradually darkened, but a whisper still echoed. Your magnetic field is calling. If you have time, try to meditate again. Maybe you will hear more voices. That is your magnetic field telling your story. Find a quiet corner, light a candle, close your eyes, and feel the energy. Maybe, the next moment, you will dream of the priest of Atlantis saying to you with a smile, "Welcome home."